This is about oneness. We are talking about and meditating on oneness today. So what you need for this practice are these things: a journal and a pen or pencil, a percussion instrument. If you have a djembe or any kind of drum, you're more than welcome to use that, or a drum, a box, bucket, pan, whatever things that you might have that make a percussive type sound, and have an open heart and an open mind. So when you see these images, they are an example of oneness. Take a moment to read these images. You'll understand more why I chose these images. Okay, take a moment to read those. And before we go too much further into the images, what exactly is oneness? That's important to know when you're looking at this. So everything in the universe is connected. Everything's connected. You and I are connected, even though we're miles and miles apart. We're connected in some kind of way. The nature that you're seeing in the images is connected. This kitty cat talking to me is communicating something in some way, and so the love that I give to this little kitty cat, I'm receiving love back as well. So we're all connected in different ways. We're all one, but our daily habits can separate us. What we choose to do, or what we choose to say, or what we choose to, anything, it can separate us very, very easily. Separate us from oneness. So imagine that you're the whole universe. Imagine that you're the whole universe and you live in total joy and bliss. Imagine there's no past, there's no future, there's only the now. Imagine there's no space or time, just an unbounded eternity. Imagine endless peace and harmony and unconditional love. Imagine no fear and equality in all things. This is oneness. There's a couple more images I want you to see. It's a black snake on the left. Me and that snake are connected, and I will explain how all these images I have felt a connection with. I went 2 weeks ago now on a retreat by myself to a little hermitage cabin and somewhere in a small place in Indiana. And it was located on 400 acres of land with many, many paths. And on these paths, I walked, the entire place the whole week I was there. And on those paths, I took these pictures. And then these quotes came, like this one where the snake was right in the middle of where I was walking. And thankfully, it went over to the side, but it was right in the middle where I was walking. And that was a sign to me, a sign of, one, transformation, that I'm becoming, more one with the planet and feeling a connection to the snake. But also, back in the Greeks, way back, thousands of years ago, the Greeks had this symbol. It's the snakes. It's the medical symbol, right? You've seen that before. That came to me in a meditation not too long ago. And when it did, I felt this connection to the snake, but also to Kundalini energy. But that snake, the day that I was walking in the woods, I never see snakes, ever. Never see them. but all of a sudden this big black snake was there. We're connected in many different ways. And this one, if I feel love flowing through your veins, I have found medicine. So this plant has veins just like we do. They function a little bit differently, but we are much alike in that, through those veins, there's life through the petals on that plant and through the stem. And going out into those petals are those veins that's keeping that beautiful and bright green color. So the sun feeds us vitamin D. We're mostly made up of water, our bodies are, and so we're all connected in many different ways. So I'm feeling this oneness with nature these days, and I'm feeling that nature is my medicine, not like a pill or a drink that you drink that is your medicine. It's actually nature is my medicine these days. And so this is part of why I share this with you. So my story, I'm going to tell you briefly my story, is that I was diagnosed with MS at age 18 and lived with the disease for 27 years, and I no longer claim that I have MS because I feel amazing. About 2.5 years ago, I walked into work and I got halfway up to the building and I couldn't feel my left side, could not walk. I was like, I can't feel my leg. What happened? And from that point, I've started doing other things that has helped me, just basically cure myself and go into remission of this disease. So at the time, I had a stressful job. I was overseeing over 200 schools in one of the largest districts of the United States. Oversaw K through 12 music, band, choir, orchestra, and general music. So it was extremely stressful. I was presenting professional development to all these teachers, going to major meetings, overseeing instruments for all these schools. It was very stressful. So I decided I was going to start drum circles, and that would be my way of relieving stress. So once a month I did this in the community and have since tapped into the ancient technology of drumming. This ancient technology has been around. Shamans all over the planet, all over the world, have used drumming as a form of healing. And I've tapped into that, and I've been doing lots of research that I will share at the very end of this. But I've also been doing lots of different breath work, toning, and yoga to help with the healing process. All right, so oneness. I'm going to read you a little something from this book. It's called You Are Here. I'm going to show you. Thich Nhat Hanh. You are here. Okay, so it says, Nirvana is the basis of everything, as water is the basis of any wave. If the wave meditates, if it takes a moment to look at its own nature, it recognizes that it contains all the other waves. It's like the flower. It contains the whole cosmos. Look into yourself and you will see that you are not a separate entity. You are not a separate entity. Your ancestors are present in you as well as your children and your grandchildren. Not only is the past here in the form of the present, the future is here too. When you look at orange blossoms, you do not see oranges, but if you are a meditator, you see the oranges right away. You do not have to wait for them to manifest because you see that the orange blossoms contain the oranges. The same goes for you. If you're not yet old enough to be a mother, you nevertheless have your children and grandchildren in you. These children and grandchildren are just waiting for their moment to manifest. You contain them all, your father, your mother, and your children. You carry in you the whole of the cosmos. And modern scientists are also doing lots and lots of research with this. And that's a whole other session. But this, they're starting to speak this language. They say that one electron is made up of all other electrons, and that an electron may be both here and there at the same time. So this is all coming together in this thing that's called oneness. All right, so we're going to get started. I'm going to get started with first taking a moment to call in all the gods and goddesses of the East, the gods and goddesses of the highest and best good, the angels and spirits and ancestors of the highest and best from the East, where the sun rises, and that's the sign of air. The sign of air, the air we breathe, prana, life force energy. Then we go to the south, sign of fire. In the south, the fire gives us warmth. It also gives us light. It burns through us. Fire, energy. Then we go over to water. That's in the west. Water is in the west. And in the west, water is what we're mostly made of. Water gives us nourishment. It also nourishes nature. We nourish each other in this form of oneness. Water keeps all things alive and well, gives us energy, keeps us flowing from one thing to the next. Then we go over to the north. The north is the sign of earth. Earth energy. When we give to our earth and give nourishment to our earth, it gives us nourishment back. Oneness with all. And so then we call in the upper world, guides from the upper world, the guides from the lower world, and in the middle world here where we are. Welcome all guiding spirits of the highest and best good to our session today. Oh, and Kitty Cat, you are welcome too. So we're going to get started with 3 calming breaths. So sit on your sit bones if you're on the ground, and if you're on a chair, put your feet flat on the ground as if they were roots growing down into the earth. Pull your spine up by drawing this cord all the way up really, really high to the sky, to the sun. Take one hand, place it on your heart, one on your stomach, and do a big inhale. And when you inhale, we're going to squeeze where our bottom chakra is, our root chakra. We're going to squeeze there and then squeeze our abs on the lower part and the upper part. And when we squeeze, we're going to squeeze and inhale at the same time and push that cerebral spinal fluid up to the top of the crown of our head. Here we go. We're going to do our squeeze from the bottom. Inhale and squeeze all 3 places. Hold it for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. Again, you're squeezing down low. Inhale, big inhale. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale. Do another big inhale. Exhale. At this time, we're going to set our intentions for the practice. And when we do this, you can close your eyes or lower your gaze and set your intention for this practice in the form of the topic of oneness. Eyes closed, hearts and minds open. once you have your intention, state it to yourself 3 times. And tuck it away in your heart for the rest of this practice. Okay, eyes open. We're going to start with a little bit of warm-up where we do some stretches. So we're going to take our hand like this, stretch on the beat. We're barely pressing down. We want to get a good stretch on this side. Now take on this way. Other way. One more on this side. Now other hand. Stretch it down. Other way. Stretch again back. And one more in this direction. Awesome. Yeah. Good. Now we're going to go in a circle. Get our wrist really flexible. Loosen your body up. Other way. Feeling the beat while we do this. It's important for when we start playing. All right. Shake it out. Shake it out. Okay, we're going to do a few echoes. Echo imitation is when I play first and then you play exactly what I play. So let's try that. All right. I'm going to take this down for a minute. Okay, here we go. And I need to turn me up. Here we go. Be my echo, here I go. Go. My turn. Great. Keep going. Hey. Awesome. You did great with your echoes. Yeah. So now we're going to do something called a rumble. That is when we just go back and forth like a roll, sustained sound. Okay. Now I might go like this or go like that. So you just bring it up loud when I do this and bring it down quiet when I do that. Okay. Here we go. 2. Here you rumble. Keep going. Now we're going to needs something different. Okay? It has to be different than what I'm doing. So no more echoes. Those are gone. I play for 4. And you play something different for 4. Here I go. 2, 3, 4. Go. 1, 2, 3. My turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your turn. My turn. 1, 2, 3. My turn again. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. My turn. Hey. 1, 2, 3. My turn again. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Last time, freeze. Yes. All right. Good. You got it. Now, what we're going to do while we play, we're going to start out, I'll play, and then once you figure out what I'm doing, play along with the same thing. Okay, same exact thing. Then after a while, when you feel really comfortable, you can improvise. That means you're going to make up your own part. You can improvise off of what I'm doing. So then I'll play something, and then you play something different, all at the same time. Okay, creating this harmonious, rhythmic percussion ensemble. All right, so here it goes. Here I go. And remember, we're playing the same thing when I start. our voice. I'll sing something while we're playing, and then you echo it back. Here I go. Go. My turn. My turn. I mean to tell you, amazing job with all of it. Oh my goodness. So we did really, really great with the drumming and all the different things, but now it's time to just like let that energy flow through you. Take some deep breaths. We're going to take our hand and put it back on our heart. Sit up nice and tall. Shoulders down. Spine is elongated up to the sky. Hand on heart, one on stomach. And remember to squeeze those 3 places we talked about, the lower chakras. And inhale, big inhale. 5, 4, 3. Exhale. Another big inhale. And exhale. Remember to hold it when you get to the top. Inhale. And exhale. Let all of that energy come out of you. You can move it around. Yes. Whoa. That was an intentional drumming session. Very intentional, focused on oneness. And I believe we created that in this moment. We created oneness. And I hope that you will take and draw yourself back to that intention and keep it with you for the rest of the day, week, month, or even years down the road. That feeling of being at one with yourself, with others, and with the world. So in this, when we close, we're going to warm down a little bit with doing like we did at the beginning. Take our hands and just stretch out a little bit. If you're not used to playing with your hands for that long, it's really important to take care of yourself. Love yourself enough to take time to warm down. Stretch the other direction. And then we're going to take our other hand, press down gently. Breathe all while you're doing this. Breathe. And stretch the other direction. Yeah. Now let's take our journals. We're going to look at these 2 questions. Take your journal and answer the question, how can you practice oneness? How can you practice oneness? And the second question is, how do you feel in this moment? Is it different than when we started? And explain what the difference might be. So take this moment to respond to those 2 questions. How can you practice oneness? That could be either within yourself, your sphere, or with others, or with the world. It could be with any of those or all of them. And how do you feel in this moment? Is it different than when we started? And explain how. How is it different, if it is different? Yeah. Okay, so you can take a moment to do that. And I want to share with you the research that I did just recently this semester at University of Kentucky. I did research on a group of students and the teacher at a particular school here in town that I cannot name for various reasons. You know, the security of those people. It needs to be confidential. So with the research, there were all 5 of these themes came up in the research. The first one is community building. The students felt more part of the community when they were drumming in the drum circle. Theme 2, healing. So healing has many different aspects. Healing can be, you know, from disease, or it could be from, you know, as little as, you know, like feelings, right? Like, you know, I feel sad today and now I feel happy. Okay, it could be any range of things that we're trying to heal. So different themes came up with this drumming, this drum circle at this school. It's really pretty amazing. Theme 3, attention. So the students felt like they were more attentive, and the teacher noticed it too. The teacher noticed that the kids, with the different drumming activities in the drum circle, they were paying attention. They were like, listening better, and they were more focused. So their attention, they were like in the moment. They were paying attention. Theme 4, emotional expression. So with emotional expression, what was noticed with the research, with the particular teacher, noticed that the kids in the drum circle were able to express themselves. They were able to express themselves more so than on a normal basis outside of the drum circle. So they were more happy. They appeared to be like engaged and happy, and some of the kids expressed joy. Their statements were, I feel more joyful. So yes, their emotional expression was very important, and it was a theme as well. Theme 5 was empowerment. Some of the kids became leaders of the group. They were, instead of the teacher being the leader of the group, the students were becoming the leaders of the group. So that empowered them to step out of their comfort zones and do things that they might not have done before, which could lead to other experiences, which is amazing. So these are the 5 themes that came from the research. And if you're interested in that research, please let me know. I'm going to give you my contact information here. So if you have questions about anything, from the ancient drumming all the way up to now, and to the research that I've been doing with mindfulness and drumming, you're more than welcome to contact me at drumsmart101@gmail.com. You can reach me on Facebook at Drumsmart LLC or K. Michelle Lewis. I'm also on Instagram at Drumsmart101, Twitter, Drumsmart LLC, and YouTube. I have a new book out. It's called Drum O'Clock. It's an ebook. The videos are on YouTube, but if you want to order the book, you can go to fflatbooks.com, and F-Flat Books is it's strictly music education. So they also have other great books there. So you want to check that out, and if you want to implement like virtual drum circles with your students or learn how to incorporate it, it's a great resource to use for incorporating drum circles in your music classes. So, and that can be used not just for music, it can be used for community, it can be used for at-home learning with non-traditional instruction. It can be used for music therapy or any kind of therapy. So it's a very versatile resource. Again, it's at fflatbooks.com, and it's called Drum O'Clock. So if you want to get a kind of a preview of it, go on my YouTube channel and look up one of the playlists, Drum O'Clock. I so appreciate you watching and joining along and learning more about oneness through drumming. I hope to see you again soon. If you want to know more about all the events that I have, go to my website, www.drumsmartllc.com. I have multiple events coming up. I love you, everyone. Have a most beautiful day. Namaste.